I'm Lishi and I'm sat here with Lisa Jackson. Lisa, you are the Vice President of Environment, Policy and Social Initiatives at Apple.
Right.
Pretty big title. So can you give us a bit of a summary as to what that role actually is?
Yep, I started at Apple working specifically on the environment, but along the way we realized that so many of the things we try to encourage at Apple, whether it's respect for education and our role in education, or respect for our role in, sort of human rights and making sure people feel empowered to be their best selves, or working on accessibility so people with disabilities have access to technology. All those things actually, even if they're not directly related, they kind of run together. And so the social initiatives part of my title is to bring those kinds of programs to communities where we live and where we have customers.
It's amazing, and we've got it here in Australia now with the Apple Foundation program, which is so exciting.
Yes.
Which leads me to ask you, I'm a woman in technology and I don't actually have the knowledge or even confidence to learn something like coding. So from what I've seen today, there are so many more females in the space, which is exciting. But for those who are like me and do lack the confidence, do you have some advice that you could give that might empower us to learn a new skill set like this?
Yeah, I think the foundation program is built on the idea that you can start from where you are and you'll be surprised at how quickly you can feel like you're contributing. You're not just learning, but you're doing something. So Apple's whole philosophy is based on challenge-based learning. So we inspire you to think of a challenge that you see in your life, something that confronts you or your community or your family or someone you love, and then say, what could I use technology to do to try to make that better? And so you're not just learning the code, you're learning how technology serves you in problem solving. And I think if you think of it that way, obviously the Apple tools, the Swift language, the way we teach app development, it helps a lot. And there's probably going to be somebody on your team who knows more about coding. So you might bring something that they don't have, and they will bring maybe more coding knowledge. I think the other idea here is, like, these are teams that are just put together. They're not allowed to, they're selected into teams, and they find out who has what strength. You have strengths, right? You know you do. You're going to bring that. You're going to bring communication and marketing and your ability to tell a story. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. So one thing that I think of when I think of coding is simple games and things that are quite novelty, because my mind is not open to this space. So I would like to know what sort of apps you're seeing developed through this program, and are they being held in major sectors like healthcare or any other complex industries like that?
We saw some really interesting ones from the current students. Now keep in mind, these students have been in this program now a week and a half. And one was realizing that for a lot of Gen Zers, they couldn't move from feeling an emotion to being able to express it and understand it so they could deal with it. So they made this beautiful little prototype, they're just beginning, of an app to help you make that transition from what you feel to how to name it and deal with it. I think, it sounds really simple, but it requires a whole lot of research in social science and other apps. And so and then, of course, when we look at the alumni, they're doing even more exciting things. And the Empathy Plus app that we just saw just blew me away. Very real world problem. Unfortunately, how can a school with limited resources train every single physician to have great bedside manner with their patients? It comes with practice. You can learn anything with practice.
And it takes you out of the box as well to think from a different perspective, which is really good.
Yeah.
Now let's end it on a win.
Okay.
What are some success stories that you've personally seen through students who have completed their course with the Apple Foundation program?
Yeah, I have seen students who have gone on to become app developers. That's almost like expected. They go on, a lot of them go to our App Development Academy here in Australia. That's the nearest one is located in Indonesia and Bali. That right there is a success, because it means you found something that you're so passionate about, you're willing to give almost a year of your life to, right? But what I really love, I've seen students who are like medical doctors, archaeologists, you know, students who are in a liberal arts field who come away and say, now I know how to use an app to help me get my job done. So I know how to use an app to help me with my digs and work when I'm doing archaeology. That's like, to me, that's a huge win, because now the app is working for you. You're not working just on an app.
That's such a good perspective. Well, thank you so much for your time and for enlightening me on this whole industry that I just never thought I'd know anything about.
Thank you for coming and spending some time. The students were thrilled you were here.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.